Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, your functional medicine expert. And did you know that the third leading cause of death in the United States is autoimmune conditions? When you combine over the 190 named autoimmune conditions together, it's the third leading cause of death. And these are things like rheumatoid arthritis, MS, Hashimoto's, alopecia, Crohn's, colitis, all types of different conditions. And why would we combine them together? Because they all have the same underlying story, is that the body's going haywire and it's attacking itself. So I'm going to go over the top 7 things that we see that are stimulating autoimmunity. Whether it is MS or whether it is Hashimoto's, it doesn't matter. These can all stimulate the body to go haywire. So the first thing that we always look at is blood sugar imbalances. Every time the blood sugar goes up too high or drops down too low, we're going to stimulate that immune response and we're going to destroy more tissue. So we've got to stabilize that blood sugar. We've got to get it to where we're not having those swings, ups and downs all over the place. The second thing that we look for is vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D modulates that immune response. What does modulate mean? Well, it's going to turn it up or turn it down. So we want that immune system to turn up and attack things like viruses, bacteria, parasites, whatever's in the body. But then we can't have it up high all the time. We've got to lower it down and turn down that immune response. If we have that immune response up all the time, we're going to start attacking our own tissue. Then we look at allergic or irritating foods, inflammatory foods. One of the big ones that we look at is gluten, especially with Hashimoto's and different things like that. So these inflammatory foods, dairy, corn, soy, even foods that aren't necessarily an allergen, but you're eating a lot of and you have an irritated gut lining, is going to create this exaggerated response from that immune system. I always say it's like coming with a bazooka instead of a little BB gun to deal with something. So you're getting this huge response as opposed to just dealing with that one little thing. And on that same note, we look at leaky gut. The small intestine lining can get irritated, agitated, and then we absorb nutrients in too soon and we create this inflammatory cascade. That's why we see people that do food allergy tests and they might have 30, 40, 50 different foods that come up. It's not because they're full allergens, it's because that body is so agitated, so revved up. Then the other thing that we look at is estrogenic events. 1 month I found 3 teenage girls that had Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is autoimmune to the thyroid. And why were they teenagers? Well, going through puberty, being stimulated by that estrogenic event. But we can also see around pregnancies, going through menopause, going on birth control. A lot of different things can drive that autoimmunity with the estrogenic events. And then we look at infections. Infections are everywhere. One of the common ones that we see are viral infections, especially Epstein-Barr, mono, things like that, but chronic bacterial infections in the gut. All types of different things are going to drive this immune cascade. And if the body's attacking these other infections, it can drive that attack onto our own tissue. And then the last thing that we look at are the adrenal glands. Adrenals are our stress glands. They're going to respond to stress of many different types. But we have to be able to calm down that adrenal response. Otherwise, it's going to drive this immune inflammatory cascade and we're going to destroy more tissue. That's why a lot of times we see people that have an autoimmune condition that started after going through a very stressful event. But guess what? The number one stressor that we see in the body is blood sugar. Blood sugar is the number one stressor to the adrenals, especially blood sugar drops. So if you can only do one thing to get your autoimmune to calm down, stabilizing that blood sugar is the number one tool that you can use. Every time that blood sugar goes up too high or down too low, you're going to rev it up and destroy more tissue. Check out our other training videos. It's really important to educate yourself and to get a good feel of what your options are out there. We have a lot of really good, easy to understand videos on our page.